Okay, so I've opened up Google Colab. The link is in the blog post, and the first thing you need to do is go to File, okay, and go to New Notebook. Okay, this will open up a new session for Google Colab. Now, while that's opening up, I'm going to go back to the blog post. I'm going to grab that first piece of code, okay, this one here. This is where we want to integrate Whisper APIs into Google Colab. So I'm going to grab that, I'm going to copy it, and I'm going to go back to Google Colab. I'm going to paste that into this empty area here. Okay, I'm going to use Control V to paste that in. I'm going to hit play. This will take some time to run, and just ignore all the output. You're going to see the code running here. It's going to be running on the Google servers. Okay, so it doesn't run on your computer, it runs on the Google servers. And we basically need to wait for this spinner on the left-hand side, this play button, to finish doing its thing. That's how you'll know. When that stops, you kind of know, okay, now it's done its thing. You'll see all this stuff, just ignore it. This is basically the code running on the Google servers. And what we're doing here is we are integrating the Whisper APIs, OpenAI's Whisper APIs into Google Colab so that we can use Whisper API to transcribe our audio file to text. Okay, I'm going to pause the recording and I'm just going to wait for this to finish and then I'll come back. But you'll see that this is going to go on for a long time. Just ignore it. We're just going to wait for this to run. We really don't care what it's doing. All we know is that this is how Google Colab integrates the Whisper APIs so that we can take advantage of it and use the Whisper APIs to transcribe our audio file. Okay, so I'm going to pause the recording and I'll come back to this later when it's done. Okay, so we can see that the spinner has now stopped. There's all this stuff down here that I'm just going to ignore. I'm going to go and grab the next piece of code, okay, which is down here. It's one line. This is really all you need to do is grab these few lines, copy them, go back into Whisper. Now here we need to press plus code at the top because we have no place to put this code. So we need to tell Google Colab that I've got some more code. So it opens up a new area to paste it in. I'm going to use Control V to paste that in. Now, before we run that, very important, we need to upload this file that we are referencing, okay? This is the audio file that you want transcribed. Now, what's important is that you name this file exactly as it is in this command, okay? And make it short because you've got to type that in here. Don't make it something long, right? So you can see the little folder icon here. I'm going to click on the folder icon. That opens up this blank space. So I'm going to go in here and right click, and this opens up a menu. I'm going to click on upload. Now this is basically telling me to go and find the file that I want to transcribe on my computer. So I'm going to go to that file on my computer and I'm going to find that file, okay, and I'm going to hit open it, basically upload it. So I need to wait now for that file to be uploaded, and we'll know when it's uploaded when this spinner on the bottom left has finished, okay, and you'll see the file appear in this blank space where my mouse is on the left panel. So I'm going to wait for that to upload. Notice that the name of the file, as you can see that I'm uploading, is exactly the same name. It's case sensitive as what I've got here in my command. Okay, so that needs to match with the file name. That's why I first renamed the file in my downloads area, wherever my file was, so that it was easy for me to type it in. Okay, so just take a note, keep it short so that you don't have any spelling errors when you put in that file name into this command. Often when you have errors, it is basically because you've misspelled the file name here, so it cannot find it, right? So it's almost uploaded. You can see on the left-hand side that that spinner is now almost complete. I'm waiting for that to finish. I can see the file here, but I'm waiting for that to finish so that the upload is complete. You can see that the name of the file is exactly as it is in my command prompt. So it's finished now. I'm going to hit play. Again, this will, you can scroll down here. This will now start to read the file. It'll start to transcribe the file into text. It might take a few minutes, usually about 5 minutes or less. You'll start to see it transcribing here in this black, in this grey, dark, empty space. You'll start to see the lines of text coming out from the API. Okay. If you get errors, it's most likely because the name here, the file name you've put here, doesn't match with the file that you've uploaded. So just make sure, because it is case sensitive, that it is exactly as what it is on the left hand side. Okay, so I'm going to again pause the recording, let this finish, and then come back and I'll show you what you will see when this process has completed. Now I want to show you a warning message that I got, which is basically this warning message here, and it's basically saying that the accuracy and the engine we're using to do the transcription is not supported on CPU, so basically a runtime. And what I typically do when I run these is I basically come up to runtime and you click on change runtime. You do this before you start and you change it to GPU. Okay, that's just a much more powerful hardware accelerator to do your transcriptions, and it'll use a different type of transcription engine, which is part of Whisper API, known as FP16. Okay, and to run FP16, which is just a more accurate, more high quality transcription, you need to have turned on from runtime menu down to, you need to have turned on the GPU instead of CPU. Okay, so if you find that the transcription isn't as good or as accurate as what you are expecting, just run it again. But before you run it, change the runtime. From the runtime menu, go down to change runtime type, and where it says hardware accelerator, just change it to GPU. Okay, and you will get a better output. Okay, so I'm going to let this run, and then I'll come back to the recording once this is finished and show you what it actually produces. Okay, I just want to show you the progress so you can see that it's still transcribing, and that's what you'll see. You'll see this area will show you its progress, and it's basically a couple of minutes into the transcription, so it's still going. And this might be faster if I'd chosen the runtime for GPU. Whoops, I don't want to do that, which is under change runtime and GPU. So I'm not sure because that's typically what I normally use. I forgot to change it when I started this because it's already set in my previous screen. Anyway, so you'll see this as it's transcribing here. The quality looks actually quite good with the timestamp. So we're just going to let this go and wait for this to complete. You'll know that it's completed by seeing that the spinner here on the left hand side at the top where the command is has stopped, and you'll see the actual files to download onto your computer. They'll be available and visible here on the left hand side. You'll see a text file that you can just download, which will be all of this text that is converted from the audio file, and you'll see other files here that you can also download, which are the timestamps that you can use if this is a video that you're producing captions for. Those timestamps will be in a format that any caption producer, like any video editor file, will be able to use to import captions if this was a video file that you are converting. Okay, or you've taken this audio from a video file. So you have a couple of files to download, but we are only interested in the text component of this transcription because we just want to transcribe the audio into text. That's what we're showing here in this particular training video. Okay, so we'll let this run. I'll come back to this when it's finished. Okay, so it's now completed the transcription. This was a 9-minute file. Okay, 9-minute audio file. Now you can see it created a number of files. So the only one that I'm going to open up is the text file. Okay, so I'm going to download that by clicking on that, and I'm going to open that up. And you can see there's the full transcript. Okay, all the text from that audio file. Now these other files are useful for captions. Okay, so these are used, for example, by any video editing software where you may want to import captions. So if I open up one of these, I'll show you what it looks like, but it's not really anything that I use. So there's the VTT file. I'll just open up with a notepad, and you'll see that's just got the timestamps for each one of those text elements where someone's talking. Okay, and this is basically what a video editing tool requires in this format to create captions for a video, for example, if you are wanting to create captions. So I hope that was useful. Very easy process. Don't forget to turn on the GPU Okay, it'll run faster. Our CPU is going to be quite slow. Okay.